This is Andrew Jordan from NodeWise. So far in this video series, we've talked about why SBA loans can be better, and we talked about what the process looks like. Now let's cover something that can make or break the whole thing: choosing the right SBA loan partner. If you run a managed service provider, your lender matters even more because you're often balancing client escalations and service delivery while trying to keep the loan moving forward. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people assuming all banks handle SBA loans the same way. They don't. Some small or mid-sized banks can technically do SBA loans, but they only do a handful each year. That's not who you want guiding you through a process this complicated. And on the other end, I've seen big national online SBA loan lenders fumble badly too, my own experience included. While I've seen the best results with banks that are big enough to do a lot of SBA loans and actually specialize in them. These are the banks that have teams dedicated to SBA lending, they understand the rules, and they know how to navigate the process without constant mistakes or delays. Those are the banks you want to work with. It's also fascinating to me how differently banks view SBA lending. I know one banker at a local regional bank, a bank that does tons of SBA loans. His take is, we've been given this responsibility, this opportunity by the federal government to help Americans start and grow businesses. For MSP owners, that can mean funding hiring, tools, or an acquisition without choking cash flow. If you've got a good business but not enough cash, SBA loans are there to help fill that shortfall and give you the fuel to grow. Other banks, they don't see it the same way. For them, SBA loans are basically just conventional loans with a longer amortization period. From their perspective, it's about more people qualifying because they don't have to show as many assets supporting the loan, and if the loan defaults, the government absorbs most of the loss. And that's where the old joke comes in. Bankers are happy to give you a loan once you can prove you don't need it. A lot of banks that don't do SBA loans very much still think this way. The difference in philosophy really does matter. A bank that views SBA lending as a mission to help businesses grow is going to give you a completely different experience than a bank that treats it as just another normal product line. So how do you figure out who you're dealing with? You ask them. I'd ask a banker point blank, how many SBA loans did your bank do last year? Be very specific. If the answer is, well, we did 3, that's probably not who you want to trust with this. You're not just looking for someone who can fill out paperwork. You're looking for a partner who can explain your options, guide you to the right ones, and make the whole process smoother. Here's another piece of advice I strongly recommend. Don't just talk to one bank. Talk to at least 2, possibly 3. Go through the preliminary steps with more than one bank. Be transparent. Say, we're feeling this out and talking with a couple different lenders. They may not love that, but it usually makes them more responsive because now they know that they're not the only option. You're actually deciding who to work with. Now, at some point, usually a month or 2 in, the terms are going to start to look pretty similar across the lenders. But one bank might take a different approach. And you may find you just like working with one more than the others. That matters. And here's a tip. Don't shut down the second option too soon. If the bank you like falls through, you'll be glad you still have the other option alive and in process. So when it comes to SBA loans, choosing the right partner is critical. Looking for a bank that specializes in SBA lending, asking them how many they did last year, and starting with more than one bank if you can. It's more work up front, but it gives you options. It makes banks more responsive, and it gives you the best shot at actually getting the loan you need to grow your MSP.